Well, I don't
This is
know
your
who's starting
theme.
us off.
Do you want to say
Okay.
hello?
Hi. What's going on, guys? I'm very fidgety. Um, Welcome back to the start of our new podcast with me and my sister Riley.
That's
Yay!
me. I'm Riley. Hello. What is this? Will Steck 13
um,
still? Oh.
no, it's Will wow underscore Steck.
Okay, so we're gonna give this a new name. Let us know what you think we should be called. We don't really know where we're going with this yet, but we'll find our way around. And we're so
Yep,
glad that you're here to join us
yep. On this very fun adventure of
on this
watching
very fine day. Today is Wednesday, December 31st. So it's New Year's Eve.
Yep.
And a common thing that me and Will have going on right now is Stranger Things. So we're going to go ahead. Do you have earphones?
Yeah.
I hear myself when I talk.
Uh,
Put them in. That'll help.
said that you stopped recording.
Well, I didn't.
Huh.
What is this
Just
thing?
is
What?
forgot. I lowered my steering wheel so I could so you could see like most everything.
We need to find Will a new place to record. His car is a weird place. I don't know.
I just
People
need
do it
like
all
one
the
of those.
time.
I just need like one of those like phone holders right here.
What happened to your tripod?
Um, it'd be right here, and I'd be looking like this. So,
You're so silly. Just go in the house, bro.
uh, and
Next
also
time.
it'd only be recording that way. I'd be sideways.
Well, you can figure it out. It would be figured out. It'd be fine. Anywho, we'll go back and say this again. Me and Will, we don't have a ton in common.
What? For like this?
But we are best friends. And that's
Yeah.
okay. I think it's great to have best friends and to not have a ton of things in common. But something that we have in common right now is Stranger Things. And it is currently, I'm East Coast and Will is Mountain Standard.
Yeah.
So it's 2 o'clock where I am, which means Stranger Things will come on at 8 o'clock tonight and we will watch the finale. Five
It's coming
o'clock for
on
Will,
at 6.
6 o'clock for Will.
You're 2 hours ahead of us.
Oh, okay. So I thought it would be a great idea to kick our little thing off by talking about any theories that we might have going into the finale. Anything that we find kind of suspicious, anything we think the ending is going to be, we're just going to chat about it for a little bit. So, welcome on, join the ride, and let's get started. Do you want to go off? Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
You can start if you want.
Okay. I feel like I'm probably more prepared than you.
Hmm.
I feel like that's probably
But
a
I have one.
common. Okay. So I'm going to preface this by saying I did a lot of my research on TikTok.
It's a great source, Riley. One of the best.
So the ones that I agreed with and that I feel like I had knowledge in, I wrote down. And then I also need to preface by saying that I have seen Stranger Things The First Shadow. So I
Oh,
have extra
oh.
knowledge on top of it because I've seen the play.
Nerd.
So a little bit of my theories are based on because I've seen the play, but it's also can be common knowledge. So that's where we're going to start. And so I wanted to start with something that I found interesting was that November 6th is the day that Will goes missing, right? It's a big deal. November 6th is a big deal this season too, because it's the anniversary of Will going missing. Well, here's a fun fact. November 6th is the same day as the play that Henry stars in high school back in the 50s. And this is shown during Max's memory when she's going through his memories and she gets the Oklahoma like flyer with like Joyce. So that happens in the play. In the play, they're getting ready for a play. And November 6th is the day of the play. November 6th in the play, to my memory, is the day where Henry lets the mind flayer like take full control. Like the whole show is about him like fighting for control over himself from the mind flayers. And November 6th is the day of the play and the same time that he gives the mind flayer full control. So I thought that was I just thought that was interesting that they both ended up having like this outer dimensional experience at the same time. And I think that most likely will have something to do with something, but I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I feel like that's actually pretty valid. I can't really back most of that up because I haven't seen the play.
Or
So try to get mom to see it though. She was like, no.
I know. I told her
I
to
also
see it
tried to get
too.
mom to see Beetlejuice just in spite of Beth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I told her to go see it because Trisha Paytas was in it. The celebrity that I follow. She was like starring in it during when mom was there. So anyway, that leads me into theory number one is that Henry slash Vecna is not a bad guy. I think he just has this being controlling him. I think the mind flayer is in full control of everything. And Henry is just doing what he's told. And the mind flayer has full control. What would you say about that?
But also, which that would explain on how he got his powers to begin with.
Right. And that,
So,
and that is something that you don't see because of the play. That part is in the play. And it does touch on it a little bit in the show. It introduces where he did get his powers, where he first interacted with the upside down and this new dimension. It touches on it in the show, but I'm hoping that it expands more on it in this last episode. If not, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it next time. I'll tell you all about
yeah.
it.
Depending if we watch it tonight.
We can talk about it next week. It's not a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
But but then Ben had a good theory yesterday that I'm kind of bouncing around. Maybe you can give me your thoughts on it. Is that Henry is trying to take the mind flayer down. Like he's trying to defeat the mind flayer. But because the mind flayer has control over Vecna, the mind flayer knows what Henry is doing. And so the mind flayer is using its control to build its strength rather than destroy it. But Henry thinks he's going to destroy it. If that makes any sense.
But then also based on the last episode, how would that also fit into them merging the worlds? Which actually that does make a lot more sense because then the mind flayer would be more access to getting more power.
Yeah, I think in the end it's the mind flayer wants the control and the power, and he's using Vecna as his like voice to do so.
Yeah.
I thought it was a sound thing, so I stole it from him. But yeah, so that's my first theory is all around Henry, I think. And Noah Schnapp, is that his name? He does
Yeah.
an interview saying that he feels like Vecna is the most misunderstood character. And so it does kind of spin the idea of is Vecna still just being controlled? Is he
Hmm.
and trying to escape, but he doesn't know how because he's been under this control for so long? I don't know.
Making me think a lot more than I
I
usually
know.
do on the weekends.
It's
it's
Wednesday, my
it's
dude.
it's a weekend in my mind, but it's almost over.
And you've been on
It's been a 2 week.
Christmas break.
It's
two
been a
weeks
2 week
Saturday.
weekend. Yeah, it's almost over, which is sad.
Oh, we got to get this mind flowing. We got
I
big
know.
plans tonight. Big plans tonight. Anywho, so that's my first theory. Do you want to go ahead and give me yours? Or do you want me to
Mine's a
go on
little
to
more
my second one?
sadder.
I'm
Mine's a
good
lot
as
more
sad.
sadder. It's about Steve and Dustin.
Yeah.
I have a theory that they're gonna die because dude, which it actually does fit because Eddie died in the second one. Dustin's trying to copy Eddie now. So, and then at the end of this last episode, they said, if you die, I die to each other. So, which
Yeah.
means either one of them's going to die and then the other one's going to, like, pretty much force himself to die or.
Going to sacrifice
Uh,
himself.
Ron, no. My brain.
Yeah. And, well, and I thought about that too. And I don't know. I haven't super thought about like the people dying because there's been so much kind of conflicting opinions on what's going to happen. Like they said, like episode 7, which was the most recent one,
Yeah,
was like going to be super emotional and everyone was going to like be so emotional. And I did not feel that way.
me neither. Will,
And so I'm just
Will
like,
coming out
well,
was so emotional.
so my theory goes on with that, and that we can go right into that right now. I think Will is still being controlled by Vecna. Like he went into that coma, and I think he woke up and he's still being controlled.
Yeah.
I think he's still being controlled by Vecna. Because when Will comes out, he says this line. It's not exact. I just wrote it right here. That he loves riding his bikes with his friends to go to Melvald's for milkshakes. Milkshakes.
Milkshakes.
Yeah, Melvald's for milkshakes. Now, do you know what Melvald's is?
I do not recall.
Melvald's is the general store that Joyce works at.
Hmm.
And we've seen most of the general store at this point. Like we can say we haven't seen much of it, but because in season 1, she just goes to buy phones. But in season, I believe it's 3, is we see a lot of the general store, right? Because Hopper
Hmm.
keeps coming and she's freaking out about the magnets. That's season 3, right? I'm pretty sure.
Freaking
Is with the
about the
mall,
Russians.
the Russians and the mall and her magnets. So we see a lot of the general store, and it's just like
Yeah.
a convenience store. There's nowhere where you can buy a milkshake, right? However, and this is something that you wouldn't know because you haven't seen the play, Melvald's used to be a diner back in the 1950s. So, and I Googled this too to make sure. I just did a simple Google search. I wrote First Shadow Diner name. And it says the diner was featured in the stage play Stranger Things. The first shadow was Melvald's Diner, which later became the Melvald's General Store in the Stranger Things series. Now, that would be weird for Will to say that he loves to go and get milkshakes with his friends at Melvald's because they don't have milkshakes there. But do you know who was around in the 1950s that
Vecna.
Melvald's would have milkshakes? Henry Creel. Well,
True. True, true.
so he remembers Melvald's as a diner instead of the general store. He doesn't know they don't sell milkshakes there anymore because he hasn't been there, right?
Plus, they could also have some in the freezers in the back.
They could have some in the freezers, but that would be so yeah, that's a good point. Is that it could just be
In
like
a
those
freezer aisle that we haven't
like the
seen.
drumsticks.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just think it's interesting. It's interesting. And I've
I
watched
see
a
your
couple
point there.
videos like Joyce is like, put your coat on, and Will's like, I don't want to wear a coat, which goes back to season 2 where he's like, he likes it cold.
He
And then
likes
like
it
he
cold.
and then there is a moment where Will stands like Henry, and we've seen that happen with Billy, where Billy was standing like Vecna. And then also once he wakes up from this coma, he also stands like Henry slash Vecna, whatever, the freak.
The
So I don't
freak.
know. I don't know. That's my theory. And then I have one more. And this
How
one is
does
a
everybody stand like the same way? Like it's just a stance. How can you gather that much from it?
well, so it's putting like his hand, like when we saw the clips of Henry with 11, he always stood like with his hands together like
Hands
this,
together.
right? Like his
Yeah.
hands over his wrist. And so Billy does it, and Will has done it as well, which so far, those are the only two people we know who have been taken over by Vecna, you know?
Dude, I felt so bad for Holly, to be honest.
Well, I know when she woke up, like when
She
she,
was almost there. She was just like, dude,
I
you know
know.
how if 11 was there, she'd just be
I know.
death of
But
Holly.
you know what? You know what? Like she would have went splat.
Yeah.
Like so in the end it was kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
But
But
I just
could
felt bad.
Vecna walk any slower?
Even any of them. Like seriously. When it was like, just run to the freaking portal. And they were just like tiptoe and like, let's hug and let's be friends. Like for 20 minutes.
We
Like,
don't need
no,
that.
we don't need it. It's
Just a quick
ridiculous.
hug and then walk away.
I know.
Be like, it's good to
I
see
just
you.
I know. Sorry, I just used you. Bye. Could have just led with that. Anyhow. Is that a new hat? Ben got a really cool new hat. Anyway, it's a Flame Fire Pros hat with fish on the side. Anywho,
I think the kids are possessed like how Max and Chrissy and the others were, because at the end they all went like that and their eyes rolled back.
yeah, there's definitely something going on there with the
To
orphans.
they're not orphans. They have parents.
I know, just not right now.
But where like I know they're kids and they're naive, but there is no kid that's that dumb that does not ask questions.
Well, and it's because he's given them like they've gained his trust or like
I would
whatever.
still
There's
be
trust.
asking questions, dude. Like you do not just like not wonder. Like
I know. I know. Well, and that's just with a lot of shows. I'm just like, why didn't you just like ask a question about this? Why didn't you just be like, this doesn't feel right? Like Derek
and
does.
yeah,
But
like right when I heard that Holly met Max, I'd be like, that doesn't sound like a monster name. I'd go talk to Holly, gather information, and be
yeah,
like, oh, huh, can I help? I'll do
yeah,
anything.
right.
Me and Derek would be friends, to be honest.
You think?
Yeah, me and delightful Derek.
You and delightful Derek. Derek. Anywho, so that does kind of go a little bit into my last theory, as well as like, how Henry has control over all these kids and their minds.
Mm,
I think, and this is a stretch, so just work with me for a minute, that Vecna or the Mind Flayer or whoever's in charge is controlling us, the viewer. Okay, so walk with me here. So volume 1 was like good,
Mm-hmm.
right? Will has powers. This is awesome. This is crazy. Show is so good. And then we get to Shock Jock, and Will goes into the coma,
Mm-hmm.
right? Once Will wakes up, the show changes.
It does a little bit.
Like volume 2, and it's nationwide, whatever. Everyone's talking about it. Volume 2 is crap. No one liked it.
Dude, Emily loves the last episode, and she said, I love this series again. I'm so confused because the second one was like really bad, and I don't know how.
So that's my theory, is that I think when Vecna was like, Will, you're going to help me one last time, he's still like there. He's still there, and he is controlling. I think that Vecna is controlling what we are seeing. It's a
So we're seeing
crazy
out of
theory.
Will's eyes
Seeing out of
with
Will's eyes,
Vecna
which is
narrating.
being yes, yes. No one else has freaking understood what I've been saying. You just knocked it out of the park right there.
Because I've seen shows like that where it's out of somebody's eyes, but someone else is like narrating it.
Yeah, and Will has been the main character of this season.
Yeah.
And so we are seeing everything through Will's eyes. And I put it towards kind of like the play, where they're having a play within a play. That's kind of what
Mm-hmm.
he's doing now, is Vecna is giving us a performance within a performance kind of thing. We're seeing what Vecna wants us to see and wants us to hear, and trying to make it seem like it's normal, but it's not. And I
Mm-hmm.
have a couple of things that, to me, it made sense. So Mike refers to Joyce as Joyce instead of Mrs. Byers. Now, there's a little bit of mixed reviews here that it does happen occasionally in the later seasons, but for the most part, he calls her Mrs. Byers,
As
if
it's a
ever.
form of respect, I feel like they like.
Right. But after Will wakes up in that last episode, Mike calls Joyce Joyce, which I saw that as that's Henry. Good to see you. I'm not quite sure. I think it's just because, okay, so I said Henry doesn't know Joyce's last name, since we're seeing
Yeah.
this through what Henry
Will's
is wanting us to
to see.
see. Henry
Or the
last saw
mind flare.
Joyce. Yeah, but Henry last saw Joyce in high school.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last time they've interacted with each other. And so Henry doesn't know Joyce's last name because he doesn't know who she married. It could be different from Will's. It could be, he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
know. And so I think that's why it says Joyce instead of Mrs. Byers. If we're seeing it through Vecna's eyes, that's why Mike says it. And I think they do this. And so here's my other one, is when Max comes back, right? Max wakes up and she goes to see everyone at the Squawk. And Hopper's there. But we think back, the last time that we saw Hopper was season 3. That's the last time Max saw Hopper, was that he went to go and defeat the Russians and he died.
Yeah.
So she didn't care that Hopper was standing there and he was risen from the dead. Like, I feel like that would be a little bit of a shocker, right? Of like, whoa, you're not dead?
Or should be like, or I'd be like, who's that bearded man in the back? Because the last time she saw him, he didn't
Right.
have that big of a beard.
Didn't
Like,
have a beard. He was
who's that
dead.
rando
Like, they
back
had a
there?
they had a funeral for him.
Yeah.
And now he's just there. And she didn't care. And then 11, who is like her best friend, like she like doesn't really have a huge reaction to, which I find kind of interesting. But then she sees Will, who she's like barely interacted with the whole show, and she's like super excited to see him. And like he's super excited to see her. But like they really have never interacted very much together. But the only thing that they do have in common right now is that
Is
they
we're in
like they're
Vecna's
both
mind.
like Vecna's mind. So
But also,
I don't know.
Will did kind of help them by
Yeah, but she
breaking.
didn't know that.
She thought
Like
it was
she
L,
didn't know that. She thought it was Elle because Elle has the powers.
but then also
So
she
maybe
did
Will just
thank
is
Will
excited
later.
that they escaped. Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, it's a little bit of a stretch, but I do think that I think that we're seeing what Vecna wants us to see rather than what is actually happening. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, how do you think it's going to end? Or do you have any more theories or ideas before we
This
get to
can
the
go one
ending
or two
prediction?
ways that this can end.
Yeah.
Either one, they kill Vecna, which is probably not going to happen, or two, he's going to survive and they actually. Well, there's three. He completes the full morph, and they didn't do it in time. Um, and three, they he kind of like lures them into a false sense of hope that they won, but like it still stopped.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think that they'll collapse the bridge. Like, I think that will get accomplished. And I think that it will send them back in time.
Back
I
to
don't know how
when,
far back in time. Possibly, I would say possibly to November 6th before Will was taken.
or back when Vecna or Henry Creel first met the Mind Flare, way
Yeah, it could
back
go
in the
all the
50s.
way back. And that's not something I thought about. It could go back to the 50s. And then, like, yeah, then what happens? I don't know.
Because then they're just stuck there, and then like they can't really do much.
Right. They're stuck there with their teen parents.
Yeah, they would try and talk to them, and they'd be like, "Who are you? Have we met you?"
Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, that would be crazy. I like that. I like that idea. That would be so crazy.
And then they could make a second like spin-off series like of them trying to get back.
Yeah. I don't think they'll do any more with them, but I think that is something.
Do
It
something
does
with like
allow
the
for
new
more
gen
of
with
like a
Holly.
spin-off. Yeah.
Dude,
Like
I
with
kind of want
other
to know
people
more
and
about how Holly, like, I want to go more deep dive into Holly's, like, kind of thing.
yeah.
Because we
I
see,
mean,
like,
she's
kind of
kind of been a
glimpses.
part of it. She's been a big part of it,
Yeah.
really. Like we go back to season 1
Dude,
and they
Holly did not need to be jumped like that, dude.
Mm. I'm excited though.
Yeah.
I'm excited to close this chapter. It'll be great. But
Yeah. It'll be a little
it'll be
sad,
good.
but it'll be good.
It'll be good. We can move on to new things.
Yeah.
It'll be great. It's been a good ride, but all good things have to come to an end. Otherwise, we can't enjoy them, right?
And then the last episode's title will probably be An End of a Beginning.
The episode is like the right side up, is what it's called.
Okay, that actually kind of helps. So that actually kind of will lead me into a different theory, actually. I feel like now your theory where Vecna is the good guy actually kind of supports that. Because it shows
Yeah.
that. I'm kind of taking this on a limb here, but it'll show us more baseline on. I feel like it'll show us more baseline on Henry trying to come back from a mind flare.
Yeah, I don't think Henry, and we see this in the play, Henry's not inherently bad.
Yeah.
Henry has evil in him because of the mind flayer, but
Yeah.
Henry's not a bad person.
He's
And so
somewhere down there.
I think that he is trying to escape in some way. And I would love to see that. I think I would love to see that happen, is that he turns out to defeat this himself rather than him just being like evil. And Ben
Yeah.
kind of made a good point the other day of he's maybe in the sense of like an anti-hero. Is that what you said? Like an anti-hero? Where like, but more on the evil side, like kind of like Venom is like an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Like he does things for like the moral good, but in morally in like bad ways. And like
Yeah.
Thanos wanted to save the world because it was dying, and the way he did that was he killed half the population. Like, so I think Vecna in a way, yeah, so Ben says it's like you have to like do bad for good to happen kind of thing. Like in the end good happened, but it was like at what price? And so I think that's a good thing to think about too, is either A, he's a bad guy trying to do good with bad things, or he's trying to get this evil out of him. I don't know. And are we just grasping at straws at this point, to make anything make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do like the theory where we're seeing it through Will's eyes and Vecna or Henry's like narrating. I do like that one. That one does expand a lot from the season on.
Yeah, I would think so too. Like, I don't think the Duffer Brothers would just all of a sudden pull out a crap season.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it also, Ben made a good point of it kind of, we see Callie, the sister or whatever, in a different light too. Because in the one episode she was in, she was like nice and she was kind of powerful. And now she's like very dark and but she's gone through a lot, but she's very changed. Like, we think that she might also be controlled by the mind player. And
Ooh.
maybe she has been the whole time and is trying to get 11 to like die, because 11 will be able to like save everyone, but if she dies then she can't.
She is kind of doing a weird mind trick on her.
Yeah, she's just being weird. She's being suspicious. She's being weird. So we'll see how she does.
I don't remember a lot from
That's all
season
I've
2.
got.
So
That's all
I'm
right.
kind of lost in this.
I don't remember much. And
It was a
honestly, we
weird
skipped
season.
over that episode when we rewatched it. We skipped over that one episode.
It's really weird.
You're kind of just as much of the dark as I am, so
Yeah.
it's probably fine.
So,
but yeah, that's all I've got.
yeah.
I'm excited for tonight to see how it goes.
Yeah. That's going to be a good night.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be the best.
Yeah. Do you want to end this out, or do you want me to do it?
You should, since I started it out.
Okay. You start it out, I'll finish it out. Let's do it. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening to our opinions. We really appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're excited to keep doing this, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very excited to keep doing stuff like this. Let us know if you have anything that you want us to talk about. We, like I said in the beginning, we're very different people, and we're gonna try and figure out I think figure out things that we have in common. Eventually, we're
Yeah.
gonna start a book together, and we'll talk about
Mm.
that. But until that point, we're
Long
just
time.
gonna chug along. So let us know anything that you'd want us to chat about and get any of our opinions on. We'd be happy to indulge in it. But yeah, we hope you have a great new year, and we will see you when we see you. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it. Love
Probably
it.
see y'all next week.
Cool. Yeah, next week. Cool. Okay.